All right, so in this next little set of videos, it's going to be kind of a multi-process, multi-things getting done. So first, to do these, I need to take the seats out. Going to be putting another fuel filter on and doing the modification to the fuel filter level floater thing in there, and I'll show y'all later. That gives you a better accuracy on your gauge. Also going to be installing seat tilts, tilting it forward. Going to go ahead and replace the air filter. Since the seats are out, it'll be a lot easier. And we'll see what else there is to do up in there. I'll probably make this a multi-part so you don't have to, watch all the crap you don't want to, just the stuff that's pertinent. That'll help you out. All right, so obviously first thing, pull the seats out. I'm going to start with this right side. All right, so this is crazy easy. 12 millimeter for 2020 and 2021 and a half. So I believe it goes up to 14 later, but for me it's 12. So here, back over here, and then there's one through the seat there, and on the other side. I'm gonna pull that out real quick and pull the seat out. All right, so you have this seat is out. Kind of dirty, nasty. Gonna clean it up in a little bit. You have these little push pin do-ollies. Gotta pull all four of those out. Looks like one of mine has already decided to go somewhere, so I'll replace that when I put it back in. But for now, gonna get some cleaning stuff, clean that, pull it off, and then clean underneath there. It's really important to make sure you clean around, and we'll show you in a second, around the pump where you're pulling it out. Again, before I clean it, you can see how just dirty this gets over time. Just driving, nothing crazy, but it's quite dirty, quite a mess. So I want to make sure that is pretty much freaking spotless before I attempt to pull that out. Just as a heads up, this guy gets disconnected, this guy gets disconnected. 8 millimeter bolts around here to be disconnected or unscrewed. All right, just so y'all can see, this clip right here is a semi pain in the ass. I've already moved it up, but it comes over here, and the bottom has the same that comes over. You just use your fingers or something and you push those up and over and slide this. In my case, the direction is yonder ways to get that guy off of there. And by off of there, I mean just slide it up enough so you can slide this guy off. Comes off the end of here. Now we're going to see about this guy. All right, so this one was a little bit easier. I just kind of popped the hell out of it. It came off, but you squeeze in this piece back here and pry upwards, and it just flies the hell off. You can see it kind of has some dielectric grease in there. I'm going to make sure when I put it back on, fill that up with some good old dielectric grease in case any water, any fluids get in there. All right, so before I pull this out, I unscrew it. I was told and saw on some other online videos there was a white line kind of that went across to show how and where it was lined up. It does have this little dowel deal, so you're not going to put it in there incorrectly, but just for grins, I want to put a line basically like that, so I know how that lined up, just in case things don't necessarily, and I really don't need it through that bolt there, but we'll just go yonder ways. Something like that. So I know, just in case, that's how it's lined up. All right, so I pulled the bolts out. Again, they are 8 millimeter. While I was doing it, did have a little bit of fuel spurt out of here while it was shaking, so wouldn't recommend you smoking anything while you're doing this or having open flames around here. I'm going to again clean up around it, because as I was loosening it, you know, some dirt that was underneath around, sorry, where these screws were, kind of came up. I just really want to be careful not to get dirt in it. So let's clean it up real quick. All right, so cleaned up around it, pulled the this guy off, cleaned up around it, have him. So I'm going to attempt to pull this guy out one-handed. We'll see how that actually work. I may have to do like I normally do and just kind of tell you what I'm doing and do it. I have an area set up where I'm going to be putting this. I would recommend kind of having, you know, somewhere to do it other than right here on top of this, unless yours is just spotless. You gotta have some gas and whatnot leak out. Well, not whatnot, just gas. So let's see. We're both doing this for the first time. Again, the reason why I do these videos is so people realize that, you know, even average Joe kind of people can half-ass figure out what they're doing with this stuff. Oops, sorry. You don't want to see it, I'm sure. All right, just kind of letting it drain a little bit in there. More gas in there than I thought. Of course, my lovely gas gauge tells me I'm like almost empty. Tried to wait until it was legit almost empty to do this, but looking at it, it's not there. All right, let's get this mess over here. All right, this handy dandy, super slippery. Probably need to put a towel down as well, but I'll do that in just a second. So just to step through what we're gonna do, we're gonna pull this bottom guy out, pop him off. Fuel filter's in there. We're gonna swap him out with new fuel filter. I ended up going with OEM. There seems to be some discussion out there about going with a smaller, less restrictive, but then there was other discussion about, no, that's something you shouldn't do. It's been dyno proven that these guys are better. So I don't know enough about it to override either way, so I'm just going with the OEM. Figured if I change it out every 6 months, it really doesn't matter which one I go with. So that's my plan. So again, we're going to pull this guy off here with some needle nose, pinch that together, slide him off both sides, and we're going to do a little process of lowering this, because if you see, that's your float, and your float is already, you know, this guy isn't resting exactly on the bottom, it's close. So your float is going to be at least an inch and a half, 2 inches from the bottom. So you're going to be that far off with your fuel gauge. So I'm going to, I saw someone else do this, and I think it's a pretty good idea. You basically grab this guy here without manipulating this. You grab this and then bend this guy down like that, and then you're going to bend, once he's down, you're going to bend him in, and I'll go through this process as I do it. So basically this float will be here, will be down here, so you'll get an even more accurate representation. I don't think it's going to be perfect because of the way the fuel tank is designed, but if it's something a little bit better, it's better than nothing. And since I'm in here doing this, might as well do it. All right, so I'm getting gas everywhere. I'm going to try to show you what I did. I just can't do it one-handed, sorry people. But this guy, located inside of there, obviously. Pull those, use your needle nose, squeeze those together right there, and you slide it down. And while you're pulling it down, you just kind of shimmy shake it a little bit, and it undoes that other one over there and pulls this whole bottom, I'm sure there's a word for it, thing off of here, and then you just slowly can pull, and bam, your filter comes out. Now if you look at it thinking, oh my goodness, that looks so dirty, it's all black, well that's because it's wet. I'll cut it later. I'm going to let it dry and then cut it to see if it actually has contaminants in it. But don't look at this and think, oh my goodness, it's dark, it's dirty, it's terrible. So let me get the new one on. All right, so showing you what I did. I like to make sure, because a lot of times it just seems like it's so easy. They do it in fancy shops and whatnot, and you just don't know. But anyway, this guy was slid up on here. I used something and popped into here and just kind of slowly wedged it out, and it popped out. Now the new one here, compare them, they're identical, it's OEM. So it comes with some little plug thing here. I'm going to pull it out and put it back on the same way. Try to wedge the phone somewhere so y'all can see a little better what I do, especially when I attempt to do the whole bendy process of this thing. Of course, a little nervous about that, but you know what, it's just money, right? All right, trying to see if y'all can see what I'm doing here. Basically, I have one needle nose, vice grip needle nose on here on a little bendy part. Then I have this other one back here on the part that I actually want to bend, but I want to actually move him a little bit closer up here. And if you have any little cuts on your fingers or anything from anything, this gas is going to let you know. It's going to be very helpful and let you know where any little cuts are located. It's been very helpful to me. So I'm doing this so I don't want to pry at all in this location up here, because it looks like it's expensive, so we don't want to mess that up. All right, so we have him filter back. Let me put the black piece on here. Again, if you can see, slid this guy up to where there's, you know, where there's this as high up there as I could without messing anything up. It seems to be on there pretty good. So we'll put him on here. He pops on there like so, like you knew what you were doing. This guy, you can see, is not quite right. I'm not all that surprised. I need to go out with him and then down. So let me try to do this. If it takes forever, I'll try to do that little fast forward fancy film and stuff that them pros do in their videos. Maybe have some music playing about some Prince Purple Rain or something. Maybe some good music. You can tell it's late February where I'm at. That means it's perfect weather. Birds are out chirping. Let's not do it that way. Keep it. That's out like I wanted. Now I need to bend it about here in. If you see the level, he's down here about even with this guy. I just want him in a little ways. Probably should have Googled before I did this on how much these cost. In case you screw this up. But I mean, we're rich enough to buy these KRXs, right? So we should be able to afford that. Alright, well, it is definitely lower. Before it was up here. Now it's down there. I'm going to clean this up a little better and go stick it in. All right, try to get it in the hole. Actually, not too terribly difficult. The only difficult part is trying to do it with one hand. All right, so it sits in there all nice and good. Lining up my little line just because I put it on there. Let me grab my, well, let's put this little guy on first. Let's see, if you turn this, right here is where that little guy is, where then you align your screw holes up and you can't put it on there wrong. All right, let me get my grease. We'll put those fittings back on, screw it up together, torque it to spec, and see if it starts. All right, like I said, I was gonna put some dielectric grease in here. That way, when I put that little guy back on there, protect it as much as possible. We'll slide this other on there, and then the other fuel fitting, and then torque it down. I hope this comes out. This is the little program I have from TechSpark, the manual I bought for the KRX, but just to show the, where's my finger at on here? Right there. Torque the fuel pump bolts to 52 inch pound, 5.9 Newton, or whatever that other one is, if that's what you use. So just to let you know, that's what I'm going to do, 52 inch pound. So let me get going. And just a reminder, that's at inch pound, not foot pound. So 52 inch pound is 4.333333 foot pound. So if yours, like mine, only does foot pound, and I don't know if mine will even go that low, so I may just have to kind of wing it, but 4.3 foot pound. All right, well, it did start back up. Pretty excited about that. It's running. Before, it showed me at 2 bars, or this bar plus that one. I don't know if that counts as 1 bar. Now it shows me at 3 bars, so it did help in that aspect. And looking down here, it not appears if anything's leaking, squirting gas, no flames. So I think we may have successfully done this. I'm not going to put the seat back in because I'm going to put the seat tilt brackets I have. That'll be the next little video I do. So if you want to look and check that one out, that'll be next. So thanks for watching. I don't think I left anything out, so I'm sure I did. If you have any questions, just post them below. Like, comment, subscribe, whatever else the hell you just do. Thanks, guys.